Hello, my name is Will Goodon, and I am your Minister of Housing and Property Management for your Red River Métis government, the Manitoba Métis Federation. And we're here on a very important day in Métis history and Manitoba history. We're going to be celebrating Manitoba Day on May the 12th. And as we know, that is the day that we honor our ancestors who helped bring this province into Confederation. It's a significant day for our people, and I wanted to share a little bit of the history so that we can help understand the significance to our nation. In 1869, this is many years after the Battle of Seven Oaks, or what we call the victory at Frog Plain, the Red River Métis Proclamation of Nationhood in 1816, the Hudson's Bay Company sold Rupert's Land, this land, including the Red River settlement, to Canada without telling anybody. At this time that this was happening, there was approximately 12,000 people who lived in the Red River settlement, and of that 12,000, around 10,000 were Métis citizens. Canada appointed William McDougall as the Lieutenant Governor of Rupert's Land, and he sent him to our homeland to settle any unrest that may come from the transfer of this land. McDougall brought with him a team to survey the land for settlers, completely ignoring the fact that the land was already in use, largely by us, the Red River Métis. It's worth noting as well that McDougall was a member of the Canada First movement, making him anti-French and for sure anti-Métis. So now we have the Métis citizens who are living here, led by President Louis Riel, who rejected the surveyors' efforts. They even stood on the surveyor's chain in an act of defiance. They refused McDougall entry into the homeland, signaling to Canada that the Métis would not give up their land or their livelihood easily. It's important to understand that the Red River Métis were quite willing to join Canada, but we wanted to ensure that our voices were represented and our existence was recognized. It was at Upper Fort Garry, where we're standing here today, that Louis Riel and the Legislative Assembly of Assiniboia began their efforts to negotiate Manitoba's entry into Confederation in 1870. Together they created a Bill of Rights that was intended to represent the interests of the predominant Red River Métis population, as well as a small number of settlers and First Nations folks. The Bill of Rights would become the Manitoba Act, receiving royal assent on May 12, 1870, and proclaimed on July 15th of the same year. This bill was built through what would have been extraordinary at that time. It included language rights, religious freedoms, representation in Ottawa for this fledgling province, rights that Canadians stand for today. Once the draft of the list of rights was finished, the convention sent Father Noel Joseph Richot, Alfred Scott, and Judge John Black to negotiate in Ottawa. Due to the strength and conviction of the Métis and represented by these negotiators, Ottawa had no choice but to agree to the terms. So on May 2nd, 1870, the Manitoba Act was brought forward to the House of Commons by Prime Minister Sir John A. Macdonald. On May 12th, as I said, the Act received royal assent. On July 15th, the Manitoba Act was officially proclaimed, thus making Manitoba the 5th province in Canada and the only province to be brought into Confederation by an Indigenous nation, with the rest of the West following shortly thereafter. In August 1870, however, the Red River Expeditionary Force, commanded by Colonel Garnet Wolseley, was sent by Ottawa to pacify the region. Anti-Métis and anti-French sentiments had been whipped into a frenzy in Ontario by this time, and these forces were coming in ready to target the Red River Métis, whose contributions had remained unrecognized in Canada at that time. When this force of more than 1,000 Canadian troops arrived in Manitoba, they began what we know as the Reign of Terror against our citizens. Métis women were raped. Métis men such as Elziar Goulet were murdered. As a result of such an intolerable climate of violence, and fear, more than half of the Métis in the new province of Manitoba left. When our people left Manitoba, they traveled north, west, and south to our hunting grounds and beyond. Very few went east, the direction of the origin of the British military and the Orangemen, who were the creators of the Reign of Terror, which is why our homeland today only includes a very small part of Western Ontario. Despite all this, Red River Métis remain fiercely proud of our contributions to our beautiful province and the structure of our country. Today we continue to work hard to ensure that our identity is known and understood, as is our history and our significant contributions to Canada. Sharing this knowledge and helping all Canadians understand the facts are a part of the journey of all reconciliation with everyone here in this country. Last year, in July, we signed our self-government recognition agreement with Canada at this very spot, which means we are finally recognized as the national government of the Red River Métis and the only Métis government in Canada. There is no doubt that Louis Riel would be deeply moved by all the progress his little nation has made since the beginning of our nationhood. So on Manitoba Day, let's be proud. Be proud of yourselves. Be proud of your ancestors. Be proud of your identity. Be proud of your nation. Believe in yourself. Believe in Métis. And always remember, always know that your Métis government has your back. Thank you.